Hey, Mike, good to see you back. And we never did get a full clarity as to what exactly happened. How you feeling, and how you feeling about getting back in there tonight?
Yeah, I feel great. I'm excited. Obviously, you never want to start a injury, but it was kind of a freak thing and unfortunate. But to be honest, it gave me a couple extra weeks to get my feet under me and feel like I'm prepared and ready to go. And like I said, real excited to get back in the net tonight.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
Tell us about, it's with skaters, when you miss the first month, they're always behind, and we've watched guys play catch up all year. Sometimes they never catch up. What about goalies? How's it work for them?
To be honest, Mark, I feel great. Like I said, it's given me an extra couple of weeks to work with Schwartzy, and to be honest, my injury, was a kind of a weird one where it only affected me in certain movements. So I was able to do a lot of things that I was able to do during the summer and preparing for the season. So it didn't set me back too much. Obviously, missing a month is never a good thing, but I feel like I'm in a good spot mentally and physically. I'm focused, and I want to come back in the lineup tonight and be really solid for the team.
Yeah, the need for Mike Smith in this lineup is pretty clear. Mikko is always better when he's got a guy to split with. We know that. You're a competitive, fiery guy. You can't have enough of that stuff. I guess other than the obvious, keeping pucks out of the net, how do you help this team when you return to it?
I think you just said it. I think my main focus is me coming back in the lineup and being just real steady back there. The leadership part of it will come. Obviously, you don't want to jump back in the lineup after missing a month and be all over the place. I think my main goal is to come back in, be real solid for the group, just play like I know I'm capable of, and I feel like I'm prepared for it. So I'm excited about tonight.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Mike, a couple of things. Goalies get hurt often in the heat of battle in a game when they're going across the crease or something. How disappointing was it to get hurt when you weren't doing that sort of thing and just stretching? And the other question I have for you is, how difficult is it in today's game to have one goalie playing every game as Mikko has had to do?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I think anytime you get injured is frustrating, but it's part of the gig. Obviously, the way it happened was kind of freak, and I haven't quite seen that throughout the course of my career, but it is what it is. It's over now. Like I said, I feel like I'm prepared. I've gotten some great work with Schwartzy and the team, and feel like my game is where it needs to be successful here. And obviously, touching on Mikko a little bit, and I think he's played real solid for a guy that's came in and in a shortened camp to have to come in and play as many games as he has in a row. It's significant. It's significant on the body and on your mind. And obviously, I want to come back in and be able to get in there and spell him off and worry about what I can control, and that's me, and that's how I play tonight. And we'll start with that.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Mike, last season you went in depth talking about the penalty kill, and you had the fourth best PK save percentage in the NHL, and you talked about how you knew a lot where the shots were coming from, and it made it really easy. From watching up above, what have you seen different in the PK, and maybe how you can help it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes down to the willingness to do what it takes to kill penalties off. And last year was last year. I mean, everyone talks about last year and this and that, but it's every year is a new year, and there's new people that come in, and things change, teams adjust, and obviously after the success we had last year in the penalty kill, I think teams are scouting more, teams are watching what's going on, tendencies, and so to speak. So I think the main thing is just the consistency of it has to be in place. The players that are killing know what they have to do. It's just about going out there and doing it. But like I said, power plays are good. I mean, power plays are good. It's tough to kill penalties, but saying that, we have to do the job. And I'm looking forward to getting back in there tonight and trying to help that out.
Tony Brar, Oilers TV.
Mike, there's no question that you're a competitor and a fiery guy. You want to be on the ice. However, the opening 13 games have given you an opportunity to watch the games from afar. What have you seen from your club so far, and what are some of the things that you need to do and need to correct heading into tonight and moving forward?
We can score, but we have a little difficulty keeping it out of our net. But, saying that, I think we've done a lot of good things. It's about, and we talked about it this morning, it's about consistency. And every team talks about it through the course of, whatever team I've been on. I mean, consistency is the thing that separates you from being a mediocre team to being a really good playoff team every single season. So it's finding that, that consistency, that balance of being a highly offensive team. We know we can score, but it's the balance of knowing when to go and knowing when to, what time it is in the game, what the score is, and managing the clock a lot better than we have. So I think all those things will transfer into, more consistent play. The details of the game matter. And, but like I said, I'm not really focused on what's going on in front of me. I'm really zeroed in right now on how I'm going to play tonight. And I'm prepared, I'm ready, and excited about getting back out there.
You talked about it in a positive light. You had a couple of extra weeks to kind of get going and get yourself primed up for tonight. But what are some of the mental challenges that come along with not being able to suit up in the opening month?
Mentally, I feel great. I think, I've done a lot of work, both mental and physical, the last few weeks. So I think I'm prepared both mentally and physically. I'm real excited. I'm honestly really excited about getting back in there and helping this team win, and really feel like we haven't even scraped the surface of where our potential is. And I want to get back in there and really, give this team a little boost and help this team be successful.
Jack Michael, 630 Chad.
Mike, I just have one for you, and obviously you can't control the flow of play, but do you have an ideal script in mind, a couple of 40-footers just to feel the puck, a couple of dump-ins where you get to handle it? Is there a perfect scenario where you'll feel more comfortable more quickly?
It's a good question. I think anytime you can get a nice long floater in on you, it always helps. But like I said, I'm not really concerned about how I'm going to come out and start. I've prepared for it. Like I said, I've been on the ice for a couple of weeks now. I feel like my game's real solid, and the last 4 or 5 days have really dialed it in. So I'm confident that I'll be come in tonight and have a real good game, and I'm not worried about where the shots are coming from, how many touches I'm going to get. I'm worried about the next shot, and that's all I can control.
Final question, Bob Stauffer, 630 Chad.
Hey, Mike, just circling back to something Jack hit on there, just on the puck handling. That's a big part of your game, and each goalie has their respective strength. And as you're watching, I mean, you obviously saw teams were chipping and dumping on the Oilers and forcing the defense to make plays. Any hesitate? I mean, you've been away. It's always been part of your game. I'm assuming you got to be who you got to be. No hesitation in that regard?
Absolutely not. I think that's part of my game. That's part of what's kept me around for a long time. So it's definitely a part of my game that I feel like is a plus side. Obviously, you don't want to get in there tonight and overhandle it and try and do too much with it. But anything I can do to get back there and help the D out and help us get in the offensive zone, that's part of what I do out there.
Thank you. This concludes Mike Smith's media availability. Hand function. Ryan Rashog, TSN. Go ahead, Ryan.
Can you hear me okay, Leon?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to ask about, you guys were on a bit of a streak there, and then you lost a game, but overall as a group, compare how you feel now maybe to after the first few games of the season, just where your confidence is as a group.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a little bit of an up and down for us. We're obviously looking to even that out a little more, to get on the good side of that. Obviously the 3 games that we won in a row there was big for us, but last game we played a good period and then kind of so lollygagged a little bit. So yeah, I think we're just trying to a little more consistency in our game, and obviously looking to come up with 2 wins here.
A bit of a different one here for you. There was a TV timeout and there was a timeout and some whistles, but you and Connor played a shift that was 5 minutes and 45 seconds trying to get a couple of goals late in that game. And, obviously coach wants you out there and you're pushing for it. How much of a challenge is it, Leon, to play 5 minutes and 45 seconds consecutively, because we almost never see it? How did you feel?
I didn't even notice, to be honest with you. Obviously, I think there's a timeout. Obviously on the power play, you don't move as much either. So we had a late power play there. So it wasn't the hardest 5 minutes ever, but obviously, you don't want to do that every game.
Bob Stauffer, 630 Chad.
Morning, Leon. Just, Yamamoto had a real sharp start to the season, but of late, the guy that seems you have a connection with is Dominic Cahoon. Are you surprised at how well he supports the puck and how he gets to the right spots on the ice? I mean, it's pretty obvious you're looking for him at times. Maybe just assess how you think that's going right now, with him and Connor on the line.
I think we're playing well. We support each other well. Dom is obviously a very smart player. He knows exactly where to go, where to be, and he's got great hockey sense. And obviously I knew that coming in. Makes very underrated plays with the puck. I think I really like our line. I think we've been playing good. Obviously we're looking to create a little more and be a little more productive.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Leon, I just want to ask you about Stützle. If you saw from the first game you played against him to the second game you played against him, and if you've watched him in any other games as to how he's coming along. And certainly in the second game there, he was diving to block shots and charging down the wing and stuff. What do you see from him so far?
I think he's doing well. Obviously I haven't seen too much. I've only seen the 2 games that we played against him. He scored 2 goals late in both games, so took advantage there, and I think he's doing really well.
Thank you.
Jack Michael, 630 Chad.
Continuing the first part is on Stützle. He talked just a few minutes ago about kind of a Zoom call that you did during the World Juniors, and he speaks with reverence about you. Is it strange or funny to you at age 25 to all of a sudden be looked up to by this next half generation of German players that are coming into the league, and does it make you feel proud?
Definitely proud. I think it's great for German hockey. Obviously, if I can take that role on to be have a little bit of leadership on them and maybe a little bit of guidance, I'll gladly do that, of course. I think they'll find their own way into the league and they'll figure things out. But I'm obviously always here to help.
And then secondly, back to the ice. I know you didn't finish it in terms of the team, but is the first period against Calgary a bit of a blueprint as far as playing in straight lines and something you guys can go back to in terms of refining your game?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was a very solid period. We put the puck on net. We made good plays with the puck. We took care of the puck, defended well. We played fast. We used our speed. So, that's obviously what we're looking to do for 60 minutes.
Final question, Tony Brower, Oilers TV.
Leon, just one question for me. Last year, when you guys talked about the additions of Mike Smith and James Neal at the time, you guys said they brought a sense of swagger. Now having Mike Smith back in the lineup tonight, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's big for us. Obviously he's going to help our defenseman big time playing the puck, breaking the puck out. He's so good at handling it. yeah, like you said, I think both of those guys, they just bring a lot of swagger and that urgency to win hockey games. So yeah, we're obviously happy to have that back.
Thank you. This concludes Leon Draisaitl's media availability. Dave Tippett will start at Bob Stauffer. Start with Rob Chichkowski, Post Media.
Hi, Dave. We all know how hard it is to beat a team twice in a row. You're looking at Ottawa, where you got to get them 4 times in a very short span. Does it get harder with each passing game to get past the team?
Well, every game is going to be competitive, and that's just the way it's going to be when you're playing teams 9 and 10 times a year. You get to know each other well. You go into a game, you have a real good idea how they're going to play. They know how we're going to play, and usually it comes down to whoever makes the key plays at the right time, gets the right saves at the right time. You're going to find a way to win.
You've got another option in net now with Mike Smith. You look back at the games you played so far. To what extent has goaltending been, the reason maybe you're not where this team wants to be?
Well, Koski's played well for us. We put a guy in a tough situation. We're playing that many minutes early in the season without any training camp. So he's come in and played well. I think both of our goaltenders played better last year when they were going 2-2 there at the start of the year. They both were fresh. They both played well. So I'd like to get back to a little rhythm of both of them, and hopefully, we'd like to see our goals against come down. That's not all on the goaltender. That's there's times when your goaltender can play better, but there's times when our team needs to play better in front of the goaltender. So that's where we're at right now. Schmidt will play tonight. Hopefully we get back into a rhythm with our 2 guys, and it'll solidify the position.
Bob Stauffer, 6:30 CHED.
Dave, how much does Mike Smith change the dynamic in terms of easing the workload on the defenseman, and frankly changing the dynamic of what you might see out of the opposition in terms of, maybe not as many soft chips and deep dumps in your zone?
Well, he does. That's part of Mike's game, is he plays the puck very well. Probably, you could put him in the top 3 of the league for sure of puck play. So it's a different element to our game that our D has to get used to a little bit. But, depending on how hard a team's forechecking or the dumps, he gets to a lot of those pucks, and hopefully he can alleviate some of that pressure.
Ryan Rishaug, TSN.
Dave, how rare is it in what you've seen in your coaching career to have players that you can effectively leave on the ice for, I think it was 5 minutes and 45 seconds of playing time to close out that game with Leon and Connor? And how rare is it to have guys that can do that?
Well, that was a rare situation too. If you look at it, we go into, there's a commercial break coming under 6 minutes. I know I had that one. We just finished killing a penalty, so there's a lot of times where Draisaitl and McDavid go on together right after we kill a penalty. They were on the ice for almost a minute, and Calgary took a penalty, so we went on the power play, but we had the minute and 90-second TV timeout. So they went another minute and 30 some, I think, on the power play, and you were down 2. We took a timeout, and then the last 2.5 minutes, we had the puck in their zone just about the whole time. We had the one face-off where we changed 3 other players, but I think with Connor and Leon, they, when you play that much in the zone, their puck touches, it's almost like a power play where you're not exuding as much energy, but when they do get the puck, they make things happen. So it was a unique situation the other night. That's not normal by any stretch, but just the way it worked out with timeouts and between the TV timeouts and our timeout, face-offs, it allowed me to leave them out there.
Also, just something about being as sure-handed as they are, whether they're tired or not. Like I watched it this morning. McDavid completed all 15 passes he tried to make in that stretch of time.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? And Draisaitl can have guys right on top of him, and he still makes plays to open guys. So that's, you just, as a coach, you look at it and you try to manage your assets as best you can, and those are nice assets to have in that situation.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Can you update us on Ethan Baird? Are you expecting him to be available tonight? And would you go with 4 righties and 3 lefties?
Ethan Baird won't be available tonight, so that takes care of the second part of the question for you.
Are you planning on sticking with 7 D-men again tonight?
We've got a couple of injury things we're looking at where we have to make that decision here after the skate.
Gord Miller, TSN.
I was going to ask you about your lineup, Dave, but that kind of answered it for me. I do want to ask you about this. You've used 17 forwards so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Are you any closer to finding the kind of mix with your bottom 2 lines that you'd like to see?
Well, we've had some injury issues that have, Haas being out. He came back and played a couple of real strong games. Now he's out again. So, I think it's a different year with the taxi squad. And if you look at it, we have veteran players on our taxi squad, so it allows you to tweak your lineup a little bit. And with eight defensemen on our roster, and then actually 9 defensemen now with Bouchard, it allows you to tinker with your lineup a little bit. And we're working to find those right combinations, but sometimes those combinations can change depending on who you're playing and matchups you're looking for. So it's you're always going to, every day you go into the day, you figure out who you have available to you, and then you try to put together a lineup you think you can win with. So it's a unique year this year because there's more options for coaches to use, and especially when you have a schedule like we are, you might as well try to use the options the best you can.
Small sample size, but what are your thoughts on Evan Bouchard through 2 games?
It's been pretty solid. His puck game is very solid. Just there's some he has to continue to work at his defending and positional play, but he hasn't looked out of place at all. He's been very solid.
Final 2 questions. Jack Michaels and Jim Matheson. Go ahead, Jack.
Dave, just piggybacking on what Gord asked about the bottom 6, was Saturday night a step in the right direction for some of those middle and bottom 6 forwards?
We're looking for some continuity there, but we haven't been able to get it with the injury factor. And there's some penalty killing stuff that has to come out of that bottom 6. Neeler is a power play guy, so it's every day is a work in progress, but JJ came in and gave us a solid game. We have to continue to find quality minutes out of that bottom 6.
And the follow-up would be second period in Winnipeg a couple weeks ago, first period the other night. Do you have some blueprints now that you can show your club in terms of finding that consistency you're craving?
Well, we had a long talk about that this morning, just the consistency in what we're doing. And second period, we came out early in the period. We turned over a couple pucks. Between some puck play and some tactical play, we're given some easy breaks against that. Those are just things that we have to be more consistent. And it's not, it's a couple lapses here and there, and we're giving away great chances. And if you're giving up great chances, you're giving up too many goals. You've got to take some of those chances away. So that's an area that we have to clean up. And like you say, we have done it, but we just have to do it consistently. And that'll be the next part of the process we have to get to.
Last question, Jim Matheson, Post Media.
A couple of things, Dave. Caleb Jones, what has he not done? It seems like he was supposed to be in the top 4, certainly top 6 to kick off the season, yet he's only played half the games. What is he not doing, and why can he not get back in the lineup?
Well, we got Bouchard's a puck mover, and we have guys that we expect to be penalty killers. We've tried Caleb a little bit on the penalty kill, and it hasn't gone as well as we'd like. So we've got Tyson Berry and Bouchard in, and we need penalty killers with them, and that's what we're looking for.
And Zach Cassian, 2 minor penalties all year. He has to be a little more aggressive than that.
Yeah, we'd like to see him get a little more engaged in games. That's kind of an understatement.
Thank you. This concludes Dave Tippett's media availability.